Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. We're going to go into our citizens forum. I want to remind everyone you have 3 minutes to speak. First up, we have Cena Mosley. Please state your name and your address for the record.
Cena Mosley, 149 Greenwood Drive. I want to start off saying I'm not mad at nobody. What y'all do, I don't care. But there's one statement that I want to make. Steve, you were standing there. Tony Vanetta was standing there. Jason, you owe this board and the employees an apology. We were all standing there during early voting. You came down through there with your phone going, I got her, talking about Phyllis. And you can shake your head all you want to. There was all of us that heard it. And you told that an employee got the information. You were the only one that could have gotten the information, Jason. None of us had access. And you told that Phyllis was running the computer site and everything else. Yeah, you did. Steve was standing there. Matt, you told me and Tony first. And we all just went, well, okay. Now, what you did with that information, I don't know. But you're lying, and you need to apologize to these people for doing that. It's not the first time. You know what? What you do from here on, I don't care. But we were all down there. Y'all know we were down there. We were down there every day. And you came down through there talking about the IT person gave you the information. I'm sorry. Did we see it? Nope. Did I know if you did anything with it? No, I don't. But it really saddened me when you sat in that chair and lied to this board. These board members are depending on you to give them the accurate information they need to make a good decision. And I think it's very, very sad, and it really saddens me. All you had to say is, yeah, I did it, but I didn't do nothing with it. Because I don't know if you did. But you are the one that came down there and told that. And it saddens me that you won't tell them the truth.
Thank you, Cena. Next up, we have Daniel Funk.
My name is Daniel Funk, 723 Judge Mason. I came here just to speak on my first time voting this time in this election. And I voted because I saw the code train, which is all three of y'all were all running together. No disrespect to Mr. Jones or Ms. Brown. Had nothing against you guys. That's who I voted for. And to see you trying to out somebody of the train, it kind of scares me a little bit, because I felt like this is a good way to make sure the board was running good. I've seen some of the report, not all the reports, so I don't have all the facts. I understand somebody making mistakes, overstepping his boundaries, but I don't see that's a reason to out somebody instead of just maybe bringing them down, setting them down. Maybe y'all have already done that. I don't know the rules, but what you've done, I'm kind of nervous because the TV's here. So I'm not going to say a whole lot more, and I don't mean no disrespect, but I wish you guys would work this out, stick together instead of ousting somebody out of the board member. That's going to alienate you against the people that you ran for. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniel. Next, we have Susan Anthony.
I'm changing the subject. I'm not here for what's going on tonight. I am here, I'm Susan Anthony. I live at 309 Jefferson Pike. I am the office manager for H&R Block. I was here at not the last board meeting, but the board meeting before that. And I just wanted to thank the citizens of Laverne and surrounding areas when I mentioned the nonprofits that we had sponsored this year. As of today, we have raised over $1,000 for these nonprofits, thanks to the citizens of Laverne and surrounding areas that have come in and got their taxes done. Also on the 16th of this month, we are having a shredded event. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's where you can bring your documents and have them shredded. We're also doing a canned food drive for the Laverne Food Bank with Miss Mary Blair and Frida Winkley. We will be collecting items for them also. It'll be in the parking lot in front of our office down on Murfreesboro Road, Old Food Lines Shopping Center, Planet Fitness now. I also have flyers if anybody would like one tonight, and that's all I have to say. I
Thank
just
you,
wanted
Susan.
to say thank you for the people of Laverne for supporting the nonprofits that we have sponsored.
Thank you, Susan. And last, we have Deborah Hewen.
Good evening, I'm Deborah Hewen. I live at 431 Randall Lane. I didn't think much of anything would get me out of the bed for the past few weeks, and I've missed a lot of meetings because of an illness that I'm trying to get over, and I felt it was important to come down here and say something because I don't have anything at all against Bruce or Kyle or Phyllis or April or any of the people involved. I don't have anything against them. I mean, they've always been very helpful to me whenever I've come down to the city or needed anything. And I don't have anything against really any of y'all, whether I've supported you again or before or not. I don't have anything personal against you. But I did vote for the coal train. I supported them, and I did campaign for them as I could. And I feel like my vote should count, as well as the other citizens should count. And I want to say that Matt Church is brand new at this. He's never been a politician. He's never held seats before. If you think the job is easy, maybe we don't need you up there, because I don't think what you do is easy. And I think there's a learning curve. I think there's things that you have to learn about how the government operates as opposed to private businesses. And I think that to disregard the voters that put him in that seat, to be disregarded and him be ousted is just wrong. I think you guys need to have classes. You need to teach him what he needs to learn so that he can get the things done that he wants to get done and get accomplished. I don't think throwing the baby out with the bathwater is the right thing to do. Me and Matt have not always got along. As he said before in meetings when he was a citizen, that, you know, me and him don't always get along, and that's true. But he's never mean to me. I don't feel threatened by him. I've never felt threatened by him, and I don't think anybody else should feel threatened by him. I know that he's had a long desire for many years to sit in that seat, and you're going to take his dream away from him because he needs to learn some things, how to get things done. I just don't think it's right. And I know each and every one of you values your seat, and you think it's important, or you wouldn't be wasting your time sitting up there and coming to meetings and budget hearings and everything else. And I respect the office that each of you hold, but I don't and won't respect anybody who wants to take away what the citizens voted for. If he committed a crime, if he punched somebody, if he did something terrible, I'd say take him out of here completely, you know, lock him up. But that didn't happen. He has a personality that needs to be retrained on how to act in a business-like manner with courtesies and manners to ask for things in an appropriate way. And we all do. He's just a straightforward, go get 'em kind of person. You each have different personalities. And we voted for Matt to be up there. Please don't take him away.
Thank you. Thank you, and this concludes the Citizens Forum. And we're going to adjourn this, and at 7 o'clock we will come back to order for the board meeting. Good evening. I call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum, and tonight I will have the prayer, and Vice Mayor Church will have the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone please stand for the prayer. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we just ask that you bless our city. You bless our residents who live here. We ask you that you will put your hand of protection over our police and our fire and our EMS responders. And we ask all of this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, Okay, first order of business is approval of the minutes from the February 5th, 2019 regular meeting. Need a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 2, presentations. If I could have Renee Cruz come on up, as well as Jacob Harper, please. So, Renee here, one of our seniors. He and his family live here in Laverne, goes to Central High School, and Jacob is one of the professors there, one of the teachers. And so last month we recognized several students for their academic achievements, and as well as getting into college with full scholarships such as Vanderbilt. Well, this young man has kind of taken it to the next step. And so he has gotten a full scholarship to Princeton. And tell him again what you're going to be majoring in.
Political science?
Political science, which is funny enough, he's at this meeting. So he's working on that dual education there. But this is a certificate of recognition. It's hereby granted to Renee Cruz, recognition of your achievement for being awarded a full scholarship to Princeton University. The city wishes you the best of luck as you prepare for the next stage of your life.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Mr. Harper. Thank you, Mayor Cole. Appreciate it.
Good job, young man.
Thank you, sir.
That is absolutely amazing.
Should have went to Princeton.
Okay, moving on to department reports. Chief Clark, Fire Department.
Thank you, Mayor Alderman. In the month of February, we had 255 calls. Took us 3.6-minute average response time and utilized about 6,000 gallons of water, 2 of them being on house fires. Are there any questions? Yeah, I'm glad that you asked that. Last week, we had reports that we was going to have severe weather and flooding, so we increased our staff. We had conference calls throughout the city as far as integrating responses, making sure everything was planned. And luckily, we didn't have any responses or any problems, and we were very fortunate than other counties and cities across the state. They got pounded. And we were able to help coordinate some of those efforts across the state by just staying right here. But many phone calls, watching the forecast, and assisting others all last week.
I would like to say something about the tornadoes. I'm sure your phones rang off the hook as of mine. It's a little different staying home, isn't it?
It is.
I know you want to hit the road and go, and I commend you for wearing 2 hats right now, so appreciate you staying.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief Clark. Police Department, Chief Walker.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. I've had several people say something when I came in about the white shirt and the shiny shoes. I did not wear the dress blouse, but I had to be in Chattanooga for a funeral today and made it back home. Don't get used to this. You won't see me. Not all the time. You all know how I am. The dressing up is not what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. Total calls for service for our calendar year to date, which is January and February, as you can see, has gone from 6,499 last year to 8,744 this year, which is a 34.5% increase. And it's running like it has been the past few months. The total calls for service for our fiscal year to date, there's a little bit of difference there. It's not nearly as large an increase, but that's because the latter part of 18 and the first 2 months of 19 are the ones that kind of picked up. I also put in there for your information that you can look at next. It's only 1 month because the February TIBERS data that goes to TBI, the Group A crimes and Group B arrest, et cetera, is only available for January until probably either tomorrow or the day after. They always lag behind about a week almost, but that gives you an idea of what the month to month. And don't read too much into that because it depends on weather and a few other things this time of year sometimes. Blank page, go. On the 19th of February, I asked what we had done for the first 49 days, just looking at it. And when I was given the information, I sat down and I put it into a format very easily to read and understand. But I did it for our folks. I wanted them to see what had been going on. We knew calls for service were up, but in the first 49 days, as you can see, 14 firearms had been taken by officers off the streets and out of hands, 3 of which had been reported stolen. And more than likely from experience that we've had that I've talked about before, the other 11 probably, most of them were stolen too. It's just the person who had it stolen from them, from their unlocked motor vehicle, et cetera, which happens all over and over and over, no matter what we ask people to do. They simply didn't have the info. 7 vehicles and a food truck trailer. Most of that came from one arrest, and that was the large arrest we had with a tremendous amount of various types of drugs that after we had had a meeting, we had worked with the 2 different task forces in Metro and shared information and worked together on it, and that's what we accomplished by working together. And ain't none of us overstaffed, and we need to assist each other all we can, and that was a very good cooperative work, along with DEA as well. But if you'll look, 795 grams or 28.1 ounces of marijuana, which is not an elaborate amount of weed anymore, not in this day and age. 900 pills, though, 64 and a half of them believed to be ecstasy. 335 grams of other drugs, and that included meth, heroin, cocaine, et cetera. Now, keep in mind, these have not been tested yet, but they appear to be, and they were delivered as such. I'll put it that way. That's 11.8 ounces, and we're having people dying every single month all over our country and here in Laverne. Chief Clark has talked many times about the Narcan and the doses. And it's a wonderful drug. It's saved a lot of lives, but it's kind of sad that we have to use it so much to save lives for the reason we are. And it happens constantly. And we have some things coming up pretty soon in May. We'll talk more about it as we go. Carry the Load's coming back through. They're not going downtown Nashville for a big event there. They want to be here in the community, in our community, like they were a few years ago, celebrating here. And Carry the Load is a wonderful group, and they're coming back through, and they're going to be here on Friday. It's Friday, the end of Law Enforcement Memorial Week. I think it's 17th. It's that week anyway. But some other things coming. JROTC's coming this week, and as a community project, they chose to feed law enforcement and fire personnel. And it's a 3.5-hour day. They're doing this on a short day, taking their time and coming, so that makes us proud. We have egg hunt coming up. We have so many things that are coming out. We want the community to come out and be a part of and be there and be safe, because we have so many great things that we have going on, and we want folks to be involved in it, and you all as well. Any questions?
Just an amazing job of what you're doing. I know you partnered together with Chief Clark as well as Garland Russell with the floods, and we spent quite a bit of time over there.
Good group of folks here.
Chief, I know I've asked you before, but I'm curious, what do y'all do with that $78,000 cash?
That $78,000 cash is gone into a special account that is required by the state. And when it goes into that account, then once that case is disposed of, if they are convicted, if there is a forfeiture of those funds ordered, the various cases, that's not just one, that's
Right,
multiple.
I understand.
But those funds go into the drug fund, which is a segregated account that can be used only for specific things for law enforcement. Usually we're using it for equipment or cars.
So
for the
we do
most
get
part.
some of it here in the city.
That's what we seize, and if no one else has been involved in the seizure, and we don't share, but we
Okay.
do
I just
when
never
they
did
have
know.
been. But that goes into a segregated account. Can be used specifically by statutory requirements from the state of Tennessee for various and sundry things that are equipment that we need, whether it's weapons, whether it's vehicles, et cetera. And that's historically what it's been used for.
Hey, Chief, can you give us an update on the radio system?
Well, the radio system is in the works. They're doing a whole lot of work on the back end of it and doing quite a few of the behind-the-scenes look, testing and configuring electronically, et cetera, and preparing for. What we're waiting on now is a Metro E line, right?
Yes.
My IT expert for that part of it, because she sat in on the hour-and-a-half conversation. Metro E line. And we're going to have something that's going to do at least 5 megabits per second. AT&T is working from northern Ohio, as a young man that I talked to on the phone, trying to figure out, we finally got him to understand it's going from Laverne, downtown Nashville, to Tacking, and it's going to be handling our backup location. And he finally understands that. Now we just got to get him to put it in a complete and total package and get it to us so Bruce can put it on the agenda and you all can vote on it, because it's going to be probably about 400, 500 a month, maybe. Not sure yet. They're still working on that part.
And that was that service that you said we would be
Yes.
entitled to carry?
Yes, because the other part, if you remember, y'all voted to go ahead and put the microwave
Right.
back here. So they're doing all the environmental study things, and that they'll begin drilling and doing samples, and EPA involved and so on.
And last thing, that leak, is it taken care of?
The leak, David McGowan, God bless him, he just has to look at us and shake his head, because he's about to pull what little bit of hair he's got left out. The leak actually was not part of the roof job itself. The brick that goes up between the two entrance ways on the front, if you can visualize it, goes up, and it's got a cap on it. That cap was not a part of the roofing. So that cap wasn't checked, and it appears that cap was there, and David's got the guy back, and they're in the process trying to fix that. But he's about to pull all the rest of his hair out. He's kind of like somebody else on the board that
Almost
don't have a
there.
whole lot left
Thank
in
you,
him.
Chief. Have a seat.
Thank you, Chief Walker. You should have the codes packet already sent to you by email and on here. Randolph is out right now with medical. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Mr. A.C. Davis.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. There are numbers for the month. I apologize on the visitors in the park. Our counter kind of went out on us, so we're in the process of trying to get that replaced right now before the season gets really busy. And Chief Walker, I have to comment on, you know, you look good tonight, but you was looking good on that dance floor a couple of weeks ago too. At the senior Valentine's. I know him and Stats both. They did a wonderful job. The seniors loved having them there. They did a great job. Mayor, you were there, and Vice Mayor, and also Alderman No, you were there. So it was a big time. The seniors loved that. But we got some of our upcoming events. We have ball season. The sign-ups are going on. They're fixing to get their season kicked off. And we're looking at March 23rd, having our inaugural multicultural festival back over there by the senior center. So we're reaching out to vendors of all ethnicities here in the city and hoping that we can get a good crowd for that. We'd like to keep it to somewhere around 12 or 15 so that, you know, it's manageable, see what kind of feedback we get off of it, and then we'll move on from there. Also, some of our, let's see, Chief Stats, okay. Parks and Rec meeting, we have a meeting coming up, Parks and Rec and Historical Preservation. The Greenway we'll skip a month on that. We'll be on the 18th at 6 and 7 respectively. And the Senior Center, the Senior Center Advisory Committee meeting will meet on the 21st at 4 o'clock. And I think that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
AC, thank you and your staff for putting together that the multicultural festival. I know, you know, not a ton of time to whenever we spoke about it back in November, but your staff as well as Ann, y'all done a great job getting that put together.
Well, one more thing I would like to mention since you brought that up, and even though it's not until April, but I think it's going to be such a big deal that we probably need to mention it for the next 2 months in a row. The Parks Department is partnering with the Fire Department this year for the Easter egg hunt. So we're actually going to have Easter egg hunt / a lot of fun. I'll just leave it at that, Chief Clark. It's going to be a big deal. Curtis is helping us out an awful lot with that. So it'll be, we're going to set up at the front of the park in the same place, but after the Easter egg hunt is over, we're going to have other festivities, bounce houses, and we're going to have hot dogs and quite a few other things. And we're really looking forward to that. So I figured I'd bring it up this month and next month as well, because we want everybody to come out for that. It's going to be a good one.
It's always,
all right.
Sorry.
It's always a fun time with the Easter egg hunt. I've been going to that for years, and I mean, it keeps growing every year.
It seems to get bigger every year. Yeah, it's a big deal. So.
Sounds like you're going to put the explorers to work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of people are going to have to help on that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance Department, Ms. Phyllis Rogers.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Board. Tonight's report is the financial report for the month ending January 31st. For the general fund, the revenues have finally exceeded expenses by $1.8 million. We've collected a big portion of our property tax. Becky wanted to let everyone know we've collected about 96% as of today. Local sales tax, we've collected approximately $5 million. That's about $1.2 million better than what we budgeted, and $474,000 better than this time last year. For State Street aid, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately 109. Stormwater revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately 55. And the water sewer fund revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $1.5 million. Second page is our balances in our various bank accounts. And the third page is a comparison to prior year. For the general fund, revenues are up about $1.4 million. Expenses are up about $500,000. Water sewer fund, revenues are up about $40,000 as compared to the prior year, and the expenses are up about $504,000. And tap fees are also up about $267,000 as compared to prior year. Tax Department also wanted to let everyone know that in the month of February, we had 25 new businesses apply for business license.
It's great. It's a good thing to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Library, Ms. Donna Bebout.
Mayor, Vice Mayor Alderman, good evening. For the month of February, We had 6,534 in attendance, with an average per day of 272. We issued a total of 118 library cards. Those are the new cards. We circulated 5,234 items. We had 2,259 computer users. With the children, teen, and adult, we had 39 programs at the attendance of 802. We had 115 of those were the outreach, where Debbie is going to the daycares within the city, and that's still a great, great thing that's happening. We're getting good feedback from that. One thing I want to mention is the great partnership that we have with the Tennessee Labor and Workforce Development, and locally, the Adult Education from Rutherford County. They have been meeting at our library every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for many, many years. We had to stop an evening program for a few months because of lack of students, but I'm so excited to say that last night we had an orientation. They gained, I think, about 6 new students, so we've started the Monday night up. So we have for adult education Monday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. until noon, and an evening option Monday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is where you can have instruction to build up your math, reading, and writing skills, and for preparation to pass the high school equivalency test, HiSET, and it was formerly known as GED. So any questions that need to be asked, there's a number there. That's to Rutherford County Adult Education. They'll be happy to answer that. And also, you know, we can help with a few answers to let you know about times and dates. Along with that partnership, we are also very proud that we offer ESOL classes. That's English students of other languages. And we offer that on Tuesday from 9 a.m. until noon, and from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And those 2 classes are really full. They have anywhere from 15 to 25 students each session. So really, really popular. Very quickly, we're still doing the volunteer income tax assistance on Friday and Saturday at the library. That is a site for free tax prep. And it's every Friday, Saturday until April 13th from 9 a.m. until 1, or until they fill their max, which has been about 12 to 16 people. So if you would like to sign up for that, please be sure and come early. I have been opening the door on these cold Saturday mornings, Friday and Saturday mornings, to let people come on into the hallway. We have people who get there about 8 o'clock to get in line. So we will not make you stand out in the cold. We'll get you inside so you can be in the right chronological order. And for all of our programs, please visit our catalog. Any questions?
Ms. Donna, the tax
Yes.
preparedness, is that income-based?
Yes, sir. It's for income tax. There's just a few criteria. I believe it has to be under $66,000 that you make total income, and they don't do a lot of the schedules.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Water treatment plant.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board. In the month of February, the water treatment plant treated 100.271 million gallons of water. We delivered 88.861 million gallons to the citizens of Laverne. That's an average of 3.795 MGD treated per day, and an average of 3.174 MGD delivered per day. With the rain events, I did want to report this, that when the lake got to its highest peak, it was at 10 foot above the full pool. It's pretty full. In the month of February, our cross-connection coordinator worked with Holt Plumbing to have the devices that failed the previous inspections retested. We are currently at 103 pending retest with Holt and our cross-connection coordinator working with those owners to schedule. In the month of February, we collected and analyzed 44 bacteriological samples, and all passed. The requirement is 40. In February 2019, the TOC removal was 56.3%. The requirement is 15%. That's 3.75 times better than the removal requirement. In February, we also saw a large reduction in our disinfection byproducts compared to February 2018. This is accomplished with the water quality leaving the plant being better and the tank cycling in the distribution system. Again, we've talked about how we're cycling the tanks to provide the freshest water to the citizens. All maintenance PMs were conducted during the month of February. We did want to note, in the past 2 years, Infomark has, previously Severn Trent, has given back to the community over $4,500, and we want to continue that partnership with the city of Laverne with things like the Senior Center, the co-sponsoring the Howl at the Moon, and Old Timers Day. In February, there were 3 pressure complaints, no quality complaints, just pressure, two of which that were taken care of that day with it being something in the customer's home. One is still ongoing. We're working with that customer and that community to figure out what's going on during certain times of day that's causing some pressure issues. Any questions?
On the intake pump number 1 that you're showing on here, that's out of service, are we within the week that they're requesting for repairs?
I believe it should be sometime in March, based on the last stuff that I've heard.
And the unit, the streamlined current meter, that's also in the works?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're looking at different options on how to get it up and running again.
So you feel comfortable now? You're set in there?
Yeah, we have our feet on the ground.
Been there a minute now?
Yes, sir.
All right, good job.
Do you know what the ETA is for the filter number 5 that's down?
I do not, sir. I think it's we're going to have it at the budget retreat.
Okay.
We're currently still working with the city to come up with a plan for that.
But with the other filters in place, we don't see that as a quality impact for our water.
No, sir. We're actually still able to produce enough for demand. We've actually, I don't know if I talked about it previously, but we actually have shut down one side of the plant and ran just on one side with either the 4 filters or 3 filters set and not seen any quality issues.
Wonderful.
Any more questions?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank you guys. AC told me today that Infomark is going to be donating $1,500 to the Howl of the Moon.
And also the door prizes.
And they're going to donate a bunch of door prizes.
Yes, sir.
So, as you said, I am very glad to see that you guys are getting involved with the city. So, I like that. So, just wanted to tell you thanks.
No problem. We thank y'all. We want to be part of the community and give
Good.
back.
We will openly and graciously take your money.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yeah. Streets Department, Garland Russell.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. This will be for the month of February. You see the street department that we have here. We've had picked up a lot of brush this month. We had a total of 134 work orders. In the fleet department, we had 39 vehicle repairs with 37 in-house and a total of 2 outsourced and 12 preventive maintenance, 4 equipment repairs, and 10 on the fire department. And this month we're putting on there a total of hours. We had about 25 hours, mechanic hours working on fire. You see me catching on.
Now, how much time and money does that save us by doing that in-house versus sending that? And Chief Clark, if you need to weigh in here, you can, versus sending that out.
$100 an hour.
$100 an hour.
Saves
That
probably,
is
probably saves 80. And then you're not waiting to come out of White Bluff, Dixon area to bring a part. Yesterday we had one leaking, pressure wouldn't hold on the pump. Single water leaking out. 7:30 this morning, it didn't go. Just happened one of the guys come by that had the gasket he needed. And then they're going to be attending some classes to work on, I think, maybe one in Murfreesboro working on the pumps itself. So they're taking baby steps on it, but they're doing a
That
good
keeps
job.
those warranties in, that keeps those warranties in effect.
Well, it saves us money and time, which is great,
Yeah,
and we're
because
able to keep
they
those.
charge from White Bluff, they charge from when they leave there till they get here, then if they have to go get parts, you know, we're not doing nothing major, but
Right.
we've had one that was major they had to come up and work on, because we didn't have the, proper equipment to lift it with, but you'll be here about that Friday night. Any questions?
Thank you. Let's go to Public Works Department, Mr. Michael Dietz.
Mayor, Alderman, good afternoon. For the month of February 2019, Water Department, we had a total of 111 work orders. There were 0 mainline repairs for the month. Service line repairs were 4. The valve exercising program did 329 valves for the month. Our fire hydrant repairs were 3. Estimated gallons of water not sold was roughly 142,000. Total overtime was 19. Meter department, total work order count was 288. New meter sets were 4. Meter swaps were 96. Miles of pipe walk per leak detection was 3.68. Listened to 317 meters. They were able to find 1 leak. The customer request for the meters to be tested and reports provided were 11. Meters tested were 16. Answered 241 Tennessee 1 calls with 7.5 hours overtime for the month. Sewer department had a total of 113 work orders. Service calls were 60. Pump stations were 53. The final grinder pump inspections for the month were 3. Manhole inspections and repairs were 149. Grinder pump rebuilds were 3 with 68.5 hours overtime for sewer department. Any questions?
Hey, Michael, on the 142,000 gallons of water not sold,
Yes, sir.
is that from leaks or is that just
As I
backflows?
mentioned last month, Vice Mayor, it's multiple things, flushing, leaks. If we fill our valve exerciser trailer, our sewer jetter, street sweeper, fire department did some pump tests this month that, you know, was different from their report, so multiple things. The majority of the water for this month was actually a new line construction. We obviously have to chlorinate that line, heavily chlorinate it, and then you have to flush at it, pull your samples to follow. So that was roughly about 80 to 85,000 gallons of water for the new line construction.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I say we're getting lucky with the warmer winter this year, because the main line and service line breaks are significantly less than they were last year.
We have benefited from the weather warmer. Also, I mean, the improvements that we've done throughout the city as well. You know, we can see it on SCADA. The pressure that has reduced leaving the plant has helped significantly over the years. Hopefully in the future, we're going to talk about a planning retreat, the 24-inch line upgrade. It's going to help even further.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Stormwater Department, Mr. Adam Leach.
Good evening, Mayor Board. Fairly interesting month for us. We had 15 calls, generated 8 new work orders. Have 2 work orders currently in progress. Closed 10. Street sweeper, only ran it for 4 days. That position was vacant. We've interviewed for that one. Had 15 working days, 1 holiday. Rain days, most of, you know, seems like forever. Performed 163 MS4 inspections for erosion control. Major projects really during this time, it was mostly, you know, prepping for the incoming storms. That was pretty much my last month. And just minor maintenance work that we typically do in the winter when we just rained out. Glenn, if you would, the next slide, if it got in here. Just for illustration's point, this is a picture on a road in Laverne where before, the first picture you see on the left is there what happened when we got there. If you can scroll down a little bit, Glenn, that's about 10 minutes after my guys did some work. That's about 15 minutes afterwards. What caused all that was 2 soccer balls that washed out somebody's yard. And we've got the picture of the 2 soccer balls there. So one, unless it's water, please don't put it in the ditch. We spent literally weeks cleaning trash, leaves, debris out of the ditch line so people wouldn't be flooded by their driveway culvert. Some streets we went to 4 times in the same week. So try not to hurt yourself.
I will say with this last rain event that we had, I don't know about the rest of the board, but I received less complaints and concerns about flooding in their neighborhood or in their yards. So getting out early definitely helped.
We did quite a bit of prep work, but a lot of the work we did was cleaning out people's trash and debris and leaves that they put in the ditch. So we did save them from themselves to a certain degree, but we're happy to do it. But, it went pretty well.
Yes, sir.
Great job.
Thank you. Human Resources, Cheryl Lewis-Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen. Here is the Human Resource Report for February. We had 4 external jobs posted with 54 applicants, 3 actual new hires, 1 internal job was posted with 1 applicant, 0 resignations, 0 terminations. We had 1 workers' compensation claim, 2 liability claims, 77 care here appointments, 0 no-shows, I'm happy to say that. There were 401 care here enrollment as far as membership, and 4 HRAs were conducted for a grand total dollar amount of $284,923. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to old business, ordinance 2019-04, an ordinance to amend Title 7, Chapter 7, Section 7-221 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding open burning. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman No.
Yes.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Church?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion passes. Second reading ordinance 2019-05, an ordinance to amend Title 1, Chapter 1 of the Laverne Municipal Code by adding a new section 1-107 entitled Addressing Employment, Promotion, Discipline, Suspension, and Discharge of Specific Employees at Public Meetings. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Need a second.
A second.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Number 6, motion to approve an agreement between the City of Laverne and Panantoni Development Company Incorporated to provide funding for the matching portion of the State Industrial Access Program. And this is recommended to defer to the next meeting. So do I have a motion?
Motion to defer.
I have a motion to defer. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion is deferred. Consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Need a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consent agenda passes. Moving on to new business, ordinance 2019-06. An ordinance to amend Title 15 of the Laverne Municipal Code, establishing a driver education course and providing for its operation. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Need a second.
A second.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. First reading, ordinance 2019-07. An ordinance to amend Title 3, Chapter 2, Section 3-207 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the powers of the city court judge. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Need a second.
A second for discussion.
Okay, seconded for discussion.
Can you explain a little bit of this, Bruce?
Well, I can probably jump in on some of it as well. This is, like we discussed at the workshop, where we're trying to get the courts and the changes that have been made at the state level, trying to get that adopted into our municipal code.
Is that for revenue purposes?
Not so much revenue purposes as much as being in compliance with state, making sure that we have that enumerated and we're not taking those powers when we don't have that in our own municipal code.
Have the rules changed at the state level recently for us to make the change?
They change, I don't know when they last changed, but it was one of those where we don't have it up to date.
Yeah, so I don't think that there's been a recent change. The TCA has provided that local municipalities can adopt by reference a driver education course for their city court. And the motion that was just passed on the first reading of establishing that course did so. And then just to make sure everything is in accord with our municipal code, we have now indicated in the powers of the judge that inclusive of assessing fines or other penalties, which he's permitted to do, in lieu of that, he can also send them to this driver education course that you've just approved. It's just making sure everything works together.
So it attaches what we've already approved.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Ordinance passes first reading. Resolution 2019-06, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the needs and directed disposal of the same. Need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Need a second.
A second.
Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Moving on to board appointments. And first one we have is the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. We have one term vacant, and we have one applicant, Joseph Suvak.
I make a motion, we nominate Joseph Suvak for the board.
And I'll second that. Alderman No.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Congratulations, Joseph. Moving on to Laverne Housing Authority. This is appointed by the mayor. We do have one applicant, Barbara McGee, who we have a vacant position from A.C. Puckett. So I will appoint her to that position. Moving on to Local Emergency Planning Committee. We have a environmental specialist position vacant because Mr. Larry Boggs no longer works with our contracted company. Chief Clark had reached out to TPM Group and they requested that Aaron Bagley be appointed to this position. Just need a motion to appoint.
Make a motion to appoint Aaron Bagley.
Have a motion, need a second.
I second for discussion.
Okay.
I chair this board. Did we get a resume or an application or anything for him?
No, sir. I contacted TPM a couple of weeks ago. Spoke to a lady named Miss Shay Stiles, I believe it was. She sent that name to me that would represent that company.
Okay, I'd like to see an application and the resume like we do all the other boards. Is that okay, Bruce?
Well, at this point, we already have a motion and a second to approve. So we'd have to vote on that before we can defer this.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Is that something that we normally would do, is put somebody on a board without seeing some kind of,
With this board, we would. We have in the past with other positions you're looking at, whether it's, internal positions, Red Cross. I know I used to chair this committee, and we would do that.
and you know this gentleman?
No, I do not. And like Mayor Cole said, the Red Cross, their representatives change monthly, it seems like, getting a new director here and there. I don't have an answer as far as qualifications, things that I do know that they sent him as a representative for that company.
It's my understanding that this individual is working, he works with the contracted company. We don't have to see we don't have to see an application or anything from Chief Clark, and he's on the board. I mean, he works with the company, and he's representing the company. So therefore, we're not putting, per se, the individual. We're letting the company send someone to represent them.
Well, I'd like to hear that from Chief Clark, if you don't mind.
Is it another language?
If you're saying, Chief Clark, that you feel that the individual, that they gave you the name, has the qualifications to be on the board, then that's fine. If you, we're both in the emergency field, and it's very seldom do you appoint someone to an emergency planning committee without verifying their emergency background. That's what I want to address to this board.
We have a motion to approve. Alderman, no.
No.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church.
No.
And I vote aye. Mr. Bagley is appointed to the Local Emergency Planning Board. Motion to rescind the election of Vice Mayor Church as mayor, or I'm sorry, as vice mayor. Need a motion to approve or deny.
I make a motion we deny.
I have a motion to deny. Need a second.
A second.
Okay.
Discussion.
Okay. Alderman, no.
I think everybody's kind of been waiting on this. At 8 o'clock on Thursday night, we received that packet and was told to send an email by noon on Monday for our recommendations about this. And City Hall is closed on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Mondays at City Hall. It's very busy. I personally, I read it, but I've never even seen this thing until Thursday night. I personally would like to be able to sit down and talk with the parties, talk with Vice Mayor Church before I give an honest recommendation. I don't think that 3 days and not being able to talk to the employees and with Vice Mayor Church, I don't think that's a fair way to go with this. I'm not an attorney, so I don't know the proper verbiage, but I just don't think it's, I'd like to talk to them personally.
Okay.
Just want to say, for the record, that this has been reviewed by a third-party legal firm. It took them about a month to compile all the interviews and to thoroughly investigate this. So that's not the role that I feel like that we need to do in this situation.
Okay. So we have a motion to deny. Alderman, no.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
No.
Alderman Jones.
No.
Vice Mayor Church.
Yes.
And I vote no. Motion fails.
Make a motion to rescind.
I have a motion to rescind. Need a second.
A second.
Alderman, no.
Discussion again.
Okay.
Like I said, I read that complaint thing pretty good, and there's just entirely too much he said that she said that I said type stuff in there. So that's another reason that I'm against it. So.
Okay. Alderman, no.
No.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Church.
No.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Number 13, motion to elect a new vice mayor. Need a motion?
Make a motion to submit the name of Melissa Brown.
I have a motion to elect Alderman Brown as new vice mayor. Need a second.
I second.
Alderman, no.
No.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Church.
No.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Number 14, Resolution 2019-07, a resolution to direct the ouster of Matt Church. Need a
Make a
motion?
motion to deny.
Have a motion to deny. Need a second.
I second.
Okay. Alderman No.
Yes for denying.
Vice Mayor Brown.
No.
Alderman Jones.
No.
Alderman Church.
Yes.
I vote no. Motion fails.
I make a motion for resolution to direct the ouster.
Have a motion. Need a second.
Second.
Before we vote, I want to clarify one thing with this. This actually starts an investigation. This board doesn't have the authority to actually remove one of its own members. So this would essentially have the city attorney and the district attorney have the power to direct by law this complaint, and they would make that, as far as they would do that, determine that investigation, and in coordination with one another, at their discretion, they would, as they deem and determine appropriate, the investigation of this before taking it to any circuit, chancery, or criminal court. Alderman No.
To rescind?
No, this would be to approve resolution 2019-07.
No.
Alderman Jones.
Yes.
Alderman Church.
No.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Resolution passes. Moving on to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman No.
I don't have any comments at this time.
Alderman Jones.
One of the comments that I'd like to make is referring to Alderman Church was voted in, and he took that position. But one of the things that seems to get lost in the overall concept of this situation is this board is also responsible to take care of the employees of this city. Not only are they to take care of the citizens, but the employees of this city. And working with a very large group of people myself, one of the worst things as far as anyone could imagine is when you get to a point that you hate to come to work. That's a bad feeling. It's not only bad for the morale, it's bad for your health. So I'm doing this to make sure that we let the employees of this city that make the citizens happy, let them know that we also stand here for them too. Thank you.
Alderman Church.
I ran on a platform that we needed change in Laverne. The citizens of Laverne agreed with me as I was elected. After taking office, I was determined to keep my promise to the citizens of Laverne. I started asking questions. Apparently, they were tough questions that no one wanted to answer. On policies that have never been challenged before. But I do believe it's unfair. By asking questions, it looked like I stepped on some toes. That was not my intentions. I am a firm believer that the employees of Laverne, from Parks and Rec Department to Public Works to the administration at City Hall, should all be treated equally and fairly for the work they do for us. This witch hunt against me began when I started asking questions about flex time. I still do not have all the answers that I asked. I have been persistent in asking tough questions. We have hired a law firm to draft policies on those issues that I have questioned from my being persistent. I have fully cooperated in the investigation and complaints made against me at every respect. I have not violated the law. I have not violated the code of ethics. I intend to remain on this board to serve the citizens who elected me. I also intend to continue to seek transparency in the way businesses for the city of Laverne is conducted, because that is what the citizens elected me to do. As many of you know, I've been attending these meetings for many years. I grew up in Laverne. I was told that if I wanted to make a change in my hometown, I needed to become an alderman. I successfully campaigned and was elected last fall. Since then, I have been met with the same resistance that I was confronted as a citizen. I am an outsider at City Hall, but I refuse to accept just because that's how it's always been done. That's how it should be done. I vowed to make change, and that is all I've been trying to do. I do not intend to be silenced by this report and will continue to ask tough questions, as I believe that is what I was elected to do. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Brown.
This is not an easy time for anyone in this room, anyone on this board, or anyone that works in the city. I think none of us have taken this responsibility lightly. The main thing is that there's more than one way to show leadership, and that's not always by brute force or intimidation. Our employees deserve a workplace free of hostility where they can come and do their job and get it done effectively, and that's what we're attempting to provide them or restore to them, and I thank them for their service. Thank you.
Just want to remind everyone, of course, we've had in the last month 2 new companies announced coming to Laverne, PLM and ICEE, relocating its corporate headquarters to Laverne. In case some of y'all didn't see the notice that was sent out, we've had some conversations with the city of Smyrna as well as TDOT and Jefferson Pike and Murfreesboro Road, where it's a pretty interesting little intersection there. A lot of wrecks happen. There will be a new red light going in there and should have the time frame on that pretty soon. Do also want to recognize Vice Mayor Brown, who is going to be recognized on Saturday for the Distinguished Alumni Award with Motlow Community College. So pretty big deal. There's a dinner and a reception, but so congratulations to her for that.
Thank you.
With that said, call this meeting adjourned.